In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what I call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the host or the gatekeeper of this program, known here on social media, wherever you may find me, wherever you may find me around the earth due to social media. I know some people don't like that, but hey, that's how it is nowadays. You are on the internet, you can be seen all over the world. And there are those who do come to this house and they do comment, letting me know they are from around the world, even places like Honduras. Shouts out to my brothers and sisters in Honduras and Central America, places like that. Wherever you may find me, I am known as the mighty Angel Snub 7. I am your soul brother, number one. Now, please correct me if I am in error, but I remember, I'm very sure I heard in one of the speeches by this brother, we still call him brother, I guess. I don't know. Just because somebody is black, just because somebody is considered a soul brother, doesn't necessarily mean that they are brotherly or sisterly. Does not mean that they are your friend. Does not mean that they are beneficial to our sojourn in this nation. But I'm very sure, I remember I heard this brother we know of as Louis Farrakhan, Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, for many of you out there in YouTube land. I heard him say, I thank God for Ron L. Hubbard. Now, if this was the 1980s, and I was a fruit of Islam, and I was a fruit of Islam in the 1980s, I would have a problem, a severe problem, and I would speak my mind. I would speak up that my minister, the one who is supposed to represent the leader is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I would have a severe problem with Louis Farrakhan standing before the world, representing my nation, telling the people, I thank God for Ron L. Hubbard. And his reasoning behind that is he has embraced what we call auditing. He has embraced what they call Dianetics. Even though, and he does not care, so what if Ron L. Hubbard was a racist? He values what Ron L. Hubbard has to offer. At the same time, I understand that every day we use things that we must attribute to sources, questionable sources. Whether they are racist or whatever, we don't know what they are, but we use them every day. But when we stand up before the world and say, I thank God for Ron L. Hubbard, what are you really saying? Because we don't know and we don't study, we don't research who actually is. We're taking Farrakhan for his word, but who is Ron L. Hubbard? And now, since the Nation of Islam has embraced Scientology, Dianetics, auditing, whatever you want to call it, what actually has it done for the Nation of Islam? Where are the testimonies now that I have embraced, I am using auditing, I have been audited? What has been the benefit to the Nation of Islam? I have not seen the reports. I have not heard the testimony. However, we do know this. I know this for a fact because I have relatives under Farrakhan and they spend a lot of money buying the materials from the Church of Scientology. We know somebody making money. My relatives never tell us or tell the family how auditing Dianetics has helped them. I don't see any change. I don't see what it's doing for nobody. I want to speak to the fruit of Islam. I want to speak to the men, whether you are under Farrakhan or Eric Muhammad, wherever you may find yourself as a fruit of Islam. I want to speak to the fruit of Islam, coming from a brother that served the same way that you done. I want to remind you, or maybe you don't know. Well, you do know that the fruit of Islam is the military wing of the Nation of Islam. You do know that, okay? You know that. Do you remember your small pamphlet? Oh, I should have got it so that you could see it. It's a small pamphlet that I have. It is called The Meaning of FOI. First of all, just like I just said, a fruit of Islam, the fruit of Islam is the military wing. You, and when I was in the Nation of Islam, we are responsible for the defense of the Nation of Islam physically, and we are responsible for the defense of the Nation of Islam mentally, or you may say spiritually. In the meaning, look, y'all gotta listen to me. Listen. In the meaning of FOI, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad writes, not Louis Farrakhan, not Malcolm, not Khalid, not no minister. Elijah Muhammad writes, in the meaning of FOI, you are not a robot. Elijah Muhammad says, as a fruit of Islam, we have the right to question. Do you understand? We have a right to question. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad does not raise robots. If the old Nation of Islam had taken the advice of the meaning of FOI, that whole incident with Malcolm X would never have happened. But we don't think for ourselves. The meaning of FOI, this does not negate, this does not exempt that we don't question Nation of Islam teachings or leaders themselves. This is what Elijah Muhammad taught. So if I can question not only the Christians or the Moors or the Hebrews, I can question my own teaching, my own belief system. Elijah Muhammad gives me permission in meaning of FOI. Louis Farrakhan is just an officer. He was an officer given that title, national representative, by Elijah Muhammad. The leader, definite article, the leader is Elijah Muhammad. I want the fruit of Islam because, see, it's your responsibility to get this right. You have to look beyond personality. You have to look beyond the leader. You have to look beyond all those different things to what you've been taught. Because the teachings came from God, and God is first. Not the messenger, not Louis Farrakhan. The teachings, God himself, what he gave to you is more important. That's priority number one. And if the messenger and your religious teachings will tell you, sometimes the prophets, the messengers, they mess up. They don't walk right all the time. So when they go off the right path, when they err, then the fruit of Islam, it is your duty to step up and get that person, put them back on the right path, or you kick them out. You have that right according to God, and you have that right according to the meaning of FOI, the words written by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad himself. Elijah Muhammad is the leader. Louis Farrakhan is not the leader. Louis Farrakhan is an officer. And the fruit of Islam has the power and the authority to take him out of office when he is not leading and directing the nation in the manner that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Farrakhan Muhammad wished the nation to go. One of the first things that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, he said very clearly, when I am gone, do not change my teachings. The first thing Louis Farrakhan done back in the 1980s was teach that Elijah Muhammad is alive. Now, you can do that. You can do that. However, when you make this statement, then you must back it up. Since you are the national representative of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, then you need to back it up with the teachings, with something that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote or said to back up your decision or what you present before the congregation, the masses of the FOI and MGT and the public themselves. When Louis Farrakhan said that Elijah Muhammad is not dead, he offers us no reference from Elijah Muhammad himself. Elijah Muhammad never said or never taught that he was the Jesus or the Christ or anything like that. He never taught that. If so, bring that information. Bring that information that Elijah Muhammad would make you think or assume that when he died, his death would be it would be false. It did not happen. He faked his death. When Minister Farrakhan brings to you and tells us, I thank God for Ron L. Hubbard, he makes no reference towards Elijah Muhammad's teachings that Elijah would accept a supplement to his teachings from a Caucasian that was a racist, and the white man in the teachings is called a devil. And a devil is a deceiver. So that whole thing is questionable. Just because you embrace something that somebody has that is good for you, don't mean you have to praise them like some type of God. And you don't force your members to buy Dianetics materials. You can't teach unless you learn Dianetics. That's not the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm not representing Dianetics or auditing. I'm representing the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But if you don't do this, under Farrakhan, then you can't teach. You can't represent Elijah Muhammad. Where in the teachings of the messenger do you see where he would support the decisions of Louis Farrakhan? He's the national representative of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But that is impossible because Elijah Muhammad is not here. So that means he is not being guided by Elijah Muhammad. That means what he is bringing to the people and to the fruit of Islam and to the MGT, he's bringing his own self-thoughts. It is not coming from Elijah Muhammad. If I am the national representative of Elijah Muhammad, then he would talk the same way Malcolm X talks, and I will give credit to Eric Muhammad. When Eric Muhammad teaches, when Malcolm X teach, they always say, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us this. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that. Louis Farrakhan teaches Elijah Muhammad is alive. He's not dead. But he does not say because Elijah Muhammad teaches us this. Elijah Muhammad teaches us that. I want to give you something called Dianetics. Because Elijah Muhammad told us this, Elijah Muhammad told us that. He does not do that. Why? If you are representing somebody else, then why aren't you taking from them to support what you're talking about? Minister Farrakhan said very clearly about Dianetics, Ron L. Hubbard. He says this, I found something. He did not mention Elijah Muhammad. He said, I found something I think that is good for us. I, not we, myself and Elijah, not we, Elijah Muhammad, Farrakhan Muhammad. He said, I. So he does not quote or has no support from God. So he has no support from God or Elijah Muhammad to bring you or give to you as a supplement Dianetics. He said, I. And who are you? You're nothing but used to be a former national representative. You're not getting any orders. You're not getting any guidance from Elijah Muhammad. It is all coming from your mind. And your mind is questionable. Your mind is not the mind that you're supposed to be representing. The mind, the teachings that you're supposed to be representing is that of Elijah Muhammad. So what you see is Farrakhanism. It is not the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Unless a person can support what they say by quotes from Message to the Black Man, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's video library, Fall of America, Our Savior Has Arrived, How to Eat to Live, all the information that we know came from the messenger, then the rest of it comes from a man that was a representative, but he's no longer that. I want to say in conclusion, if this was the 1980s and I was a fruit of Islam, being who I am, when young Pharaoh and General Sarah Sudi issue this debate, this challenge, I would take them up on it. Look, because that is the purpose of the fruit of Islam. When somebody challenges you, it's up to us to defend. It is up to us to rise up to the challenge. But you see, when young Pharaoh and General Seti, there's a lot of name calling. Those guys are clowns and all kinds of excuses. That is because you know deep down in your heart something here is wrong. You don't have to like General Seti. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like young Pharaoh. But y'all can tell something here is wrong. I found something that is good for you. But you can't back it up with the teachings of the man that you're supposed to be representing. There's a problem there, people. There's a problem. When you can teach for hours and hours and hours, and you don't make reference to the man that you're supposed to be representing. Don't you think that that's a problem? You're supposed to make reference to the man that you're representing. Now look, I know back in the 1980s, being who I am, I would step up to the plate, and I would accept that challenge. But at the same time, I'm not a blind follower. Elijah Muhammad, my own teacher, told me I can think for myself. I'm not a robot. So when I hear and see all this information, this valid, credible information from General Seti and young Pharaoh, I have no choice. I got to wait a minute. Maybe I need to think about this. I have to do some research. Let me find out actually what I'm getting involved in. Who is Ron L. Hubbard? What is Scientology? Y'all need to stop. Do what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. Stop being a robot and think for yourself. Elijah Muhammad, Louis Farrakhan is nothing but he's nothing but an officer. And if he is not representing, if he is not guiding the nation, doing what the teaching is supposed to be about, then y'all can sit him down. He needs to be set down. That's all you need to hear. Set him down.